What's your prediction for the Area 51 raid? They changed the address on Google the night before, so we all turn up at the wrong place. The army will be forced to set out an aid station with water and sunscreen, because, of course, no one brought nearly enough. Bunch of food trucks and $7 bottled water sellers show up. 150 people also show up, eat and leave. The few people who actually decide to show will get disheartened once they realize just how remote the extraterrestrial highway is and how many hours of sagebrush they'll have to drive through to walk up to a perimeter fence and be stopped by authorities who stop everyone who even pulls over to pee remotely close to Area 51. Crazies regularly try to get onto Area 51. The government has experience dealing with this. Or the government will just shut down the extraterrestrial highway for a while if they think it'll be a big deal. It's not like there are a lot of ways to access Area 51. A dozen people show up, stare awkwardly at one another in the middle of the desert without speaking for several minutes. They sit, hope more show up. One checks Pokemon Go. Eventually, they gain enough confidence to break the ice. They go back home and create some dope memes for the rest of us that were just playing along with the joke. 97% of the folks who've said they were going won't attend. The remaining 3% will cancel due to lack of numbers. 10 people actually show up and they are told to go away. They go away. The end. But not before we are tormented for the next few months with Area 51 memes. If it actually happened, the military has a great opportunity to test new crowd dispersal technology and non-lethal weapons. I really want 300,000 people to show up. 23 people will show up and stand here, discussing about how the others betrayed them. Some soldiers on a jeep will come and tell them to move. End of story. 12 lonely people who are gonna stand out there, get ready, and then not. Government's gonna have to waste a lot of money on prepping for an actual event, though. You know what would be funny? They just let them in. They walk around. They see a few hangars with some cool looking planes and helicopters. The employees show them the runways and tell them, this is where we race cars after work. Loser has to buy beer. They give them a bus ride back to their cars. 15 people show up and are detained within minutes. We piss off the aliens and they take over the earth. I suspect that few people will actually show up for the raid. That being said, I would not be surprised if the government prepared for it nonetheless, and that the cost of such preparations would not be trivial. I would imagine that the government will bring in enough security and equipment to block access to the base by a large crowd with an emphasis on avoiding anyone being injured. Along with that, they will probably also set up medical services to provide aid as needed. All of this will cost money, of course, but I don't think that the government would want to be entirely unprepared for the event. So imagine this, a handful of protesters show up to the event and find themselves there with a massive military security and possibly civilian law enforcement personnel along with a complement of ambulances, paramedics, and EMTs. Step 1. Go to Nevada. Step 2. Film raid regardless of outcome. Step 3. Profit. We are coming to see the aliens. Government. You can't hide from us any longer. And just to make sure you can't do anything tricky, we are giving you 3 months advance notice. 8 to 12 people will show up at the meeting location. 2 of these people will be wearing Naruto t-shirts. 1 or 2 other people are seeking internet fame and will be driving Prius rentals. YouTubers Explore with Us and Adventures with Christine will be there not as a participant, but to cover the event for their channels. Every single person who shows up will be woefully underprepared for the desert, temperatures, and vast distances involved. The camo dudes will be on heightened alert, but won't feel the need to carry automatic weapons for a bunch of anim-loving conspiracy theorists. The Nye County Sheriff's Department will increase patrols. Any experimental aircraft testing will cease for the day to decrease the risk of inadvertent exposure to classified materials. This was probably a joke by somebody that may have real-world consequences. A boring event that in 10 years will be spun into a Hollywood action film that makes millions. News talking heads. Although a plan was made to storm Area 51 on social media, government officials were able to confirm the raid did not take place and Area 51 was not breached. Local blurbs around the country. Insert name. S family is seeking answers after name disappeared after making plans to visit Area 51. Alternatively, they all get flashy thinged and don't remember being there. Many flea bites, scrapes, and abrasions leading to infection, a little asthma, lots of sunburn and moderate dehydration, around 200 stupid people herded on 2 buses, and 5 or 6 arrests for trespassing, and conspiracy to whatever. Aliens surrender peacefully, not a shot is fired. They're arrested and found guilty of possession of space narcotics with intent to distribute. Sentenced to 5 to 10. Let's say the people that signed up didn't do so as a joke. And these people actually do try and raid Area 51. They don't realize locks are a thing. Government right now is like, take all the alien shit and move it to Area 52 just in case they have a key. Aliens will come out to save all of the people who want to rush the base. We will have everlasting peace in the universe and be shown space travel. Our technology will jump 1000 years in just a few. At most, a couple of dozen absolute idiots turn up. Some with shitty signs or slogans on their shirts. If they even succeed in finding the right place, then armed guards will order them to disperse. 1 or 2 of them might be stupid enough to give the guards some attitude, at which point they will be detained/arrested. Everybody else will quickly back down and stand/sit awkwardly at a distance before giving up and leaving. A mass genocide, and then a Reddit post about where all the comments are simply F. To all the people saying numbers like 10 to 12 people, keep in mind, at this point, over 400k have rushed. If 0.1% of them show up, that's still 400 people. I agree with everyone that the overwhelming majority of those signed up won't go. Hell, I'm signed up, ain't going though, but this number is so big that even 0.1% is hundreds of people, and people are really stupid. I'm betting a few hundred show up and are promptly met with increased security and crowd dispersal methods. Won't happen, mostly because the people committing to do it probably forgot it involves going outside, in the desert, in the middle of summer. Also, they probably don't have a good address for their GPS, and there's no paved or covered parking.